When I say Arnold Schwarzenegger, what's the first thing you think of? I'll be back. It is apparently the line voted the best movie catchphrase ever in the history of the world. And he is back. Terminator Genisys has just been released. Entertainment editor Kate Rodger joins me now. Kate, good morning.
Good morning. That was a very good impression of Arnie just before.
No, well, actually, that's not what you said when you walked in.
It's true.
What you said when you walked in was that was Sean Connery doing Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That is what I said.
It's the funny thing about that line, because it is so popular, is that everyone tries it.
That's true. And some, in fairness, are better at it than others.
I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry, Hillary. Do you have something to say?
No, I just want... the snigger fell out.
We haven't heard your I'll be back. It fell out.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. That was better than
No,
hers.
it wasn't. No, it was not. Okay, Jim, go.
I'll be back.
Terrible.
Oh. Who are you
Terrible.
to judge?
Terrible. All right, Kate, go.
Right. I'll be back.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so he is back. And I've heard people say that he's a bit too old for the role. I can't believe that's true.
He's the highlight of the film. There's no question. I mean, but you're right. It's such an iconic role, and those first two Terminators are so beloved and so sensational and awesome, and it's kind of, dropped off the precipice since then.
I watched, in fact, I think we talked about it, I watched the new release of Terminator 2, the Blu-ray version.
Amazing.
God, it is a good movie.
It just never dates. I love it. No. I mean, there's bits about it that you think might date, but I mean, he's amazing. The thing with this film, which is what they've done, is try to mainline back into the fans that love those first two films. And for me, it just didn't succeed. It cheapened the whole notion that we might be, that we're still in love with the Terminator franchise. And it alienated me. He is the best thing about this film. We've got some other interesting casting in here. Australian Jason Clarke plays John Connor. That's the fifth actor to do so in this franchise. Mother of Dragons from Game of Thrones, Emilia Clarke comes in as Sarah Connor. And we've got a new Kyle Reese in the shape of Jai Courtney, depending on what school you went to. And they're an interesting mix, a very mixed bag. And overall, the film is a really mixed bag, and it just didn't drive it home for me.
What a shame.
It is a shame, and people will, the lovely Daniel Rutledge will argue against me on this one, but it was a major letdown. I felt it just incessantly dull. Interestingly too, R18, I think, Terminator 2, and Judgment Day, and the first one was definitely R-rated violence. This is M, so they've kind of not dumbed down the violence, but they've just tried to increase the box office by having a less sort of impactful. I actually enjoyed the action and the CGI.
Does it have because the thing that I always thought was a real winner with the Terminator franchise is the humour. Yeah. I mean, there was some brilliant humour in those previous movies.
And deadpan ones. But you talk about I'll Be Back, they've literally recreated specific scenes from the early Terminators and bring back the same lines, and the humour just fell flat on the floor like a dead fish for me. So I was really pretty disappointed in it. You're going to see it?
I'm going to the Gold Class to see it, so maybe I'll need extra wine.
You might need a couple of extra wines. It's not too long, and it delivers on some levels. It was just disappointing. When they take everything that you love, and there's lots of ways I could describe how that makes me feel.
Can you just tell me quickly? So he's and I don't want to go through the whole yarn.
It's complicated because it's time travel. You know how that can mess with your noodle.
So the end of the previous one.
Which I can't even remember seeing because it was so average.
So he's not already there. He does come back at the beginning of this one.
It just doesn't matter what's happened in the previous ones.
Okay,
Let's put it that way. So because they're repeating themselves. John Connor once again sends Kyle Reese back to save Sarah Connor, to save the world. And he sends him back to 1984, but then they leap forward to 2017. And by that stage, I kind of lost the thread a little bit, and it didn't feel like it really mattered to me necessarily.
Does his age matter?
No, in fact, because we've decided, James Cameron, I think, came up with this great idea that the skin has to age because it's organic matter. So he's allowed to age, which I thought was actually one of the nicer parts of it.
But none of the other actors were allowed to age. They've all been replaced by other people.
Exactly. But he has this wonderful whole scene, I think it's in 2017, and he's got longish flowing grey hair, allegedly his own hair. And it's the best he's ever looked in decades, I'd argue.
So are you saying still a good move to go and see it? What does that mean?
That was an unusual noise, because that's a really good question. It depends how beloved you find the franchise. And if you love Terminator, in the top 5, it hasn't even properly been released, and it's already number 5 in the top 5. People are going to go and see it, no question about it. I just keep your expectations really middling, and perhaps you won't feel so gutted to the core.
And I will let you know what I think next week.
Could you do that?
Okay, your pick of movies of all time for this week.
I know, because Flix has released their top 100 of what Kiwis love, not just the world. Shawshank Redemption, what is it about that film? Everybody loves it.
Great movie.
Top of the list. It's top of the IMDb top 50, 250 as well. Number 83. I don't know how it's buried at 83, but Once Upon a Time in the West, my top.
Once Upon a Time in the West.
Sergio
Okay, top
Leone.
5.
Top 5 at the box office is all school holiday offerings. Minions, we love them. Somehow making double the amount.
Oh,
The
those
Inside
banana
Out.
things, are they?
Banana.
Right, good.
Minions, Jurassic World finally knocked off the perch. Oh, my
Yep.
goodness. Inside Out
Yep.
needs to be seen by every single New Zealander. Man Up and Terminator, as I said, sneaking in there.
Already there at number 5.
I know.
Brilliant,
But it's
Kate.
school holidays starting today, so Minions and Inside Out are going to wrestle for it at the box office.
Fantastic. We'll catch you back next week.
I look forward to
Kate
it.
Rodger, entertainment editor.